It's not a history book. It gives us a lot of stories about history, but it's not a history book. The books are not self-improvement books. Now, if you read them, will your life improve? You betcha. But it's not a self-improvement book. These books are worship books. They tell us, how does the God of the universe want to be in relationship with mankind, and how do we in turn worship him? Not just singing. We think of singing in worship. I'm talking about loving him with your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And so up to this point in redemptive history, who's been our guide? Moses. Good answer. Moses, he was the mediator of the old covenant. He defined what does worship look like for the people of God. And if you think about old covenant worship, there's several things that come to mind. Number one, old covenant worship was characterized by monotheism. Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God, the Lord is one. Okay? Monotheism. The next thing it had ethical standards like the Ten Commandments. This is what you do. This is what you do not do. Right and wrong. They also had the sacrificial system. For when you did what was wrong, now you need to have the death of a sheep or a goat or a dove in order to make yourself right again with God. They had the tabernacle or the temple. This is where the sacrifices took place. That's where the presence of God specially dwelt with the people. You had the priesthood. Not anybody could do a sacrifice. Not anybody could go into the presence of God. There was a special family within Israel that had the job of being the priesthood, of teaching the law, of doing the sacrifices. You had identity markers like circumcision and the food laws. This showed who was in the covenant and who was outside the covenant. It was only God's special family of Israel. Then, of course, you had the promised land. This is where God blessed his people, the land of milk and honey. This is where God's presence was, in the temple and in the tabernacle. And so as you think about what did it mean to worship God according to the Old Covenant, it was really these 7 things. Monotheism, sacrificial system, the ethical system, the temple, the tabernacle, the promised land, the priesthood,